Namaskar and hello and welcome from Dayton, Ohio, United States of America. I'm your host, Pratibha Farke Gupta, and I'm really delighted to represent Bollywood International Film Festival today. We just wanted to know that you all must be interested in going to the movies and going to different events, but here is the option for you. If you are really interested in sending your entries to Bollywood International Film Festival, please do so. There is a 35% discount is going on right now, and I'm sure you probably will be able to do that if you are a music producer, if you are a person who has made a feature films or documentary films or any type of short films or any other films that are going to be a good quality. You can send it to Bollywood International Film Festival, and you can also see their information on the website as well. Okay, so and we are very excited about for today's show, because today's show is being sponsored by some of the sponsors as well, and you can do the same thing as well. If you would like to be as a sponsor, you definitely can. So Yash Vidya Films, there are Pahal Foundation, A3P Connections, Fine Grain Films, Anhad Studio, and many more. You can also join us as a sponsor. And today we have a very special episode today in Let's Talk. Bollywood International Film Festival has organized this show called Let's Talk. And today's Let's Talk show is very important in the sense because we will be introducing to you somebody who is right here in New Jersey. And his name is Mr. Raaj Rahhi. And Raj Rahhi is a New York based visionary award winning producer, director, and distribution consultant. With over 25 years of experience in television, cinema, and advertising in the entertainment industry, Raj Rahhi is a very well known international creative production and professional. All of these talents, the best thing attracts to me by talking Raj Rahhi is that he is such a simple man, which means that a very simple, sophisticated person who knows what to do in the film industry. So today we're going to be introducing to you the well-known film producer, director, and entertainer, as well as film distributor person, Mr. Raj Rahhi. Mr. Raj Rahhi, welcome to the studio, and let's talk. Mr.
You.
Raj Rahhi, and it's such a great pleasure connecting with you on this platform of Bollywood International Film Festival. And I'm sure you probably are so excited about, as I am, connecting with you. Reason why? Because my portfolio is also a little variety of difference that I'm really indebted to my credentials as well. But I'm really excited about introducing you as in the film industry. So, Raj Rai, welcome to the show, Bollywood International Film Festival. So, just to say hello to the audience of Bollywood International Film Festival, and then we can go and let's talk.
Thank you and namaskar. Thanks, Pratibhaji, to inviting me to this talk, and definitely I would love to share my experience, my journey in the film industry, uh, and really appreciate having this platform. And I think the when I started my journey, I always be started my journey from the Bollywood only. So that's
Certainly.
my first
Okay.
time into the different industry. Yeah. So you can ask me anything. I'm ready to share my experience, my journey.
Certainly, absolutely. And audience who are joining to us right now in the Let's Talk from Bollywood International Film Festival, we just wanted to let you know that you can submit your entries now, and you can also get the early bird discounts for 35%. And you may not need to have a coupons, required for that. And you can send to filmfree.com or Bollywood International Film Festival, Mumbai, and you
Mm,
can contact the number on the screen. So, anyways, Mr. Raj Rahi, I'm so excited to connect with you right now in a way because of the fact that there are certain things that I did not know about you, but I was very excited to know about you. Is that so? Tell me, really, I know it's been more than 25 years. You have had a lot of experience in that. So,
mm.
first of all, let me know about your start of the journey. How did you get involved into Bollywood industry? As I'm sure everybody has a dreams come true. And what was your vision when you were growing up in your early childhood, where you thought, what would you like to become when parents usually ask, what would you like to become when you grow up? So, to that extent, do you have any story to tell so that our audience can have little information about that as well, and get a little enjoyment of that? Okay, please go ahead, Mr. Wright.
Great. So it's a really interesting, like as a child, my childhood, I started my life I born in Shimla and brought up in India, part of different part because my father was in army, so we were keep traveling to the different part of India, and then we my one time came when my schooling and started, so decided to be in one place. I started my schooling in Chandigarh. Then while I was doing schooling and all, I have no idea what I'm going to do, definitely. But when you grow up and when you go to the college and after that, you start thinking that what do you want to do. During college only, I was always fond of writing and creative work, you
Wow. Hmm.
know. So in fact, got an admission in the medical college also, but never able to be a doctor, because my interest was somewhere, So decided to pursue my career. I did my journalism. Actually, started my career with journalism, and so first I worked with a lot of local newspapers, including Indian Express and all.
Okay.
Um, Worked with the Hindustan Times, and after that I got a chance to work with Stardust Hindi edition in Mumbai.
Oh,
So,
wow. Oh, wow.
so I moved to from that's my creative journalism, creative entertainment field started. So
Connection. Uh-huh.
yes, then I moved to Bombay and I worked with ZTV for short term for like 3 years when we started worked with many, assisted many shows during that time. Antakshari, Saregama, and those were the beginning of the shows when Z in-house production. I was involved
Okay.
with that, and then I was doing this series called Dillagi, One to Kapoor, many in-house production of Z.
Okay.
I worked with the film like DDLJ and worked with the another film, The Assistant. For short terms. That's my journey when I'm learning the industry. Learning about the craft of creative process, like how the film produce, how the television content producing and all. So after in 1997, I moved to Indonesia. I worked with Indonesian television for a few years, like 3 years. We get chance to. After that, I worked with the Jackie Chan company in Hong Kong, and in 2000 onwards, I moved to US. So during my Bollywood journey, I worked with many films, learn about more about Bollywood, but more on creative and understand the creative side of the business. And when
So I
I
have a
moved,
good question, Raji. I think sorry for the interruption, but I'm really excited about knowing about that. You just mentioned about working with Jackie Chan Productions. So our audience who are watching the Bollywood International Film Festival, let's talk this session. would definitely would love to see that, how you got into that section, being an Indian professional from Indian origin, and how did you get into that? Can you just tell and share something related to that? Will be very exciting to our audience of Bollywood International Film Festival Let's Talk show.
See, it's a basically journey. I was a like go getter. Like time. It's a time frame that when you want to do something in your life, when you are unaware of certain things, but you want to achieve. I was not guided by. I have no mentor that time, except when I was working in India, working in creative field. But I always have a vision for international cinema, world cinema. So I always found out that I want to do something. I want to work worldwide. I want to go in the Hollywood. I never thought I'll be in America, working in the Hollywood. So that's the same thing happened. I got a chance to for one of the project, and I just jumped. So I was like a
Wow,
backpack guy
that's some
from
comment.
have no connection in the world cinema, and started my journey and keep traveling. Except in Indonesia, which is I went there working in their language, their production. That was another amazing, great experience for me, working and understanding their language. So I think working with Jackie Chan, it was a great experience for me. Learn a lot. Even I don't speak that time Chinese, and uh, we have the translator with us all the time.
वाओ दैट्स ऑसम सो इसी बात पे मैं आपको अपनी एक अच्छी सी एक तो शेर सुना देती हूँ। जिंदगी है सहर, जिंदगी हर शाम, कब मिले राह में, कब हुए गुमनाम। ऐसा ही होते हैं हमारे डायरेक्टर्स, हमारे प्रोड्यूसर्स, जो कभी कभी होते हैं, हम जब फिल्म देखते हैं या कुछ देखते हैं, तो sometimes what happens that in the film industry when we see films, we always look for the actor and all those people who are in the movies, right? But
Yeah,
sometimes we don't know who are the behind the scene people. Sometimes it is very hard to explain to them the people behind the scenes are the more instrumental people to make somebody act in the film, to make somebody actually put the role together. There is somebody behind the scene who has done marvelous job. For example, when we sing a song, Bollywood film songs, we sing a song, but if you ask somebody what is your favorite song, they will tell you, but you will not know that who is the lyricist of that song, or who is the music director of the song. But sometimes we don't, right? But sometimes, so that is why people who are like hidden behind the scene are the people just like you all, producers, directors, and things like that. But in that sense, how directors and producers and the creators can make people do things, and which comes in front of public, which is the audience, and audience love that. So I'm really excited about that as well. But before I go to another question, I would like to announce one more time to the audience and people who are listening in United States of America. We are calling. I am your host Pratibha Farke Gupta from Dayton, Ohio, USA, and we have this our uh, one of those important person that I'm going to be introducing again, Mr. Raj Rahi, who is right now in New Jersey, United States of America. So if you are listening to us from United States of America, Canada, or India, or any other country, please can join us, and you can introduce yourself as well, so we can announce your name as well. Okay, and currently, Bollywood International Film Festival is connecting to, have your entries to be introduced. And if you are a good person who has made movies or feature films or musical videos, web series, or if you have a short film, or you have a documentary film, you're more than welcome to send to the Bollywood International Film Festival through the Film Freeway, or from any other numbers that are on the screen. So you can get a 35% discount as well, and you can have your journey just like Mr. Raj Rahi, because the it's always says that when you have a great passion, and you also have a great passion at the same time, when you're in the right time in the right place with a great passion, I think the universe will bring something in front of you. So do not lose the opportunity of certain things that are on your way. So Raji, I have another question for you. I think you just
yeah,
described about your passion about going to the film industry as well. So I know, I'm sure, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I would definitely ask you this question again to, since I know you have been in the film industry, and I am sure you have a good looking, structure, and I have met you personally as well. So would you, or would you have not gone into being an acting, since you have the passion of that, going to the Bollywood? So have you ever tried being an actor?
Prabhu, this is a very interesting thing. This is we call it accidental actors. So
Okay.
we never fond of acting, but I used to do a lot of auditions for when I was working with VT. Those my earlier days. So I handle a lot of auditions, and definitely, and I create a kind of small workshop for the actors also. But I never did. But I become like accidental actor. Go accidental actor. How it happens, when when we call when we are assisting, so we have to go through the rehearsals and with the actors and all. So most of the new actors comes on the set. So and they are working with the experienced actor. So a lot of time these actors got nervous, and the shot is ready. So क्या होता था, most of the time the director is saying ready for action. We thought okay, actor is ready, he's ready, but the moment the camera is on, he become nervous. It's happened with many actors. So after taking many takes, the director got angry and he says, because we as an assistant we remember the line, so he said, okay, you go change the clothes, you be in front of the camera. So we like that's called accidental it's on spot. So I did like a lot of acting like that, mostly, but I was not really fond of acting. I never pursue my acting career. I always love behind the scene, creating content. Always be feel like that I love to produce. I love to direct. That's my passion. And
Awesome.
then when I move here in US, then I thought let me learn the business side of the film, and
Certainly, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. See, here's the thing. Also, my passion was, of course, music and dance and writing, reading, writing. But I was in the medical profession, and the academic, scientific profession. So my
Mm,
two side roles, basically, my major profession is being professor and researcher, and in the food, nutrition, and health and areas of all of these things. But and the other side of mine in reading, writing was always, of course, in your when you're an academic profession, you do write publications, articles, journals, things like that.
mm,
But on the other side, my passion was also in the film industry, writing of songs, things like that, and which I have not pursued much in a details. But I will be, introducing in few months the book called, which is going to be published very soon, Sahar Ka Safar, which has a lot of
mm.
ghazals and shares and shairis, and you'll enjoy that. So, see, the passion doesn't mean that you can cut down. Means that it can always come whenever it is right time. So passion is something that is on your mind. So I have, based on the similar scenarios, that I know some people have written a lot of scripts and things like that. But I am going to be describing about your one of the connections with the one of those popular shows that was, I believe, was introduced from New Jersey during the pandemic time. And that show, I think it was a, very, very, very popular. So can you please explain to about, that particular show, and explain to your audience about how you come up with that idea, or your group had come up with the idea and you introduced the, as a web series?
Okay. So that's an interesting, very very interesting concept. Metro Park. That was a
Yes.
series. It's a two-season happened. I think it's a very interesting journey about the uh, to be part of that project. Uh, um, the Metro Park started season one. We did in long time, 2016. I think we did that season one. Uh, mm, Around that of 2008, exactly 2017 or 18, something like that. But
Okay.
um, it's I was on Eros now.
So that is a great, yes, sure. I think we are all just a little bit disconnect with that, So I'm going to be very thankful to the sponsors of this show, Let's Talk at Bollywood International Film Festival. Our sponsors are Yash Vidya Films, Pahal Foundation, A3P Connections, Fine Grain Films, Anad Studio, and also very, very excited about introducing and also talking to Mr. Raj Rahhi again in a Let's Talk. So, Raji, I think we were a little disconnected with the show, the metro parks that you were describing about. Let's
Hmm.
continue on in this show. Hmm.
So Metro Park is very interesting show. It's about the life here. The people lives here. It's a story about Gujarati and South Indian family, and I'm lucky to be part of the show and part of the producing team. So definitely, it has a great. It's a comedy shows, and people love it. People give a lot of appreciation for that show. We did a season 2 also, and hope we'll be go with the season 3 soon. So and I enjoyed working in that show. It's a great experience for me because reason being my background is from I work in Bollywood, I work in Hollywood. That's my journey, and then again the creating the content for the Indian living in America. It's a
Sure, definitely. And I was looking at your profile and I did see that you were also involved in the Hollywood film, for example, like King's Speech and The Passion of the Christ and Snakes on a Plane and The Nordic Sound in the Elevator. So some of these connections of yours, I think there's a great profile of you because not only you have had a great opportunity to work with Hollywood, Bollywood film, and also in Hollywood films also. That is a
mm,
commendable kind of credentials. Reason why? Because people do on a one track mind. If you are in Hollywood movies, you probably connect with that. But and also people who are in Bollywood movies, they connect to that directions. But I see that you have been connected with both world of entertainment industry. So can you tell me a little bit more about how are you connected that and how do you manage your connections with them to make sure that you are productively doing some work with them?
Okay. So I'll explain you my journey. How when I came to US, I was why I have no direction, but I want to do something in Hollywood. So what happened when I came? I tried my luck with the film, but there was no opening. I couldn't find any kind of job opportunity or anything. So I thought, let me educate myself. So uh, I went to NYU to learn about film production and distribution because that's my New York University. That's my journey to understand more about. Even I done more creative work in India. So that's my first experience when I start working on the film distribution. Understand? So there's a company called Picture House where I work for short term with them for film like Passion of Christ and bunch of other Hollywood film in the distribution to understand how the distribution works because I work as a director. I work as an assistant director to director and to work as a producer also. But I want to understand how the whole this film business works. So that's my
Okay.
first experience to working with those films. And then in 2006 also, I worked in HBO, worked with the company called HBO, where in acquisition. So from shifting from creating creative to producing to distribution and acquisition. That's my journey from there. And but one thing what I learned, because when you film distribution is the biggest mystery, what they call it in the filmmaking. But
Hmm.
definitely when I was involved with this film, and the same thing happened with the King's Speech when the film was came through the agencies, they were raising funds for that. So I was involved in the fundraising for King's Speech. Uh, so that's my involvement happened with that, and then I keep moving from in 2008 8 I thought okay, I worked with with this company. Now I want to do something, want to create my own. So I started my company called World Cinema Partner, where I start producing, line producing, creating contents of my own, and joining hands with the Bollywood producers. Whenever they want to shoot something in America, we always, manage for them. We manage many Bollywood films, including I am saying with Sunny Deol, with Shah Rukh Khan, with other filmmakers. So it was a continued journey for me. So that's way. But one thing I learned in the Hollywood, which is I'm still producing content. Like I was involved with a film called The Elevator with Eric Robert and a bunch of other films we are producing now. I also directed some of the television content in this journey only. So
Okay.
I enjoy the journey of from, we call it creative to producing to distribution, because it's
Wow.
always fascinated to me. And you know they always say it's like a product. We count as a product. How to sell that product. You
Wow, that's
have to
awesome.
sell the product. So if you as a filmmaker, if you don't know how to, you made it, but you don't know how to sell it, then again you can be dependent on someone. Most of the filmmaker dependent on someone. It's a chain. It's a chain supply. In marketing terminology, we call it. So,
Certainly. Wow. That's a,
but
so I think,
it's a
so
great
can you,
journey. Yeah.
wow. So can you also, I'm sure you probably have heard of Bollywood International Film Festival. I think then because of this, we are all here. So please let me know anything about how the new generation can, be into the role that you are in right now, and what does it take to be a good, experienced person just like you.
See, I always, even to my talent, or to my filmmaker colleagues, or the people, inspiring people, those who want to be in the industry,
Okay.
three P formula is always applied. The one is P. Three P is like persistence, patience, and passion. You know, so if you have passion, you want to be in this industry, you should be in that, and you should be persistent. Continue. There will be many rejection will come to you. You're not going to be, many door will be closed for you. They're not going to be open, but you keep moving. That's what very important. Whatever you do, you're acting, you're directing, you're producing, whatever, and have patience and keep moving. That's never stop journey. It's never ending and never stop. You have to keep moving. So these are the more important. The rest is your talent. How talented you are, your networking, your content, your content creation. These are the part of your journey. So
Okay.
I feel that very important for me also. I was I came from very small background, started my no film connection, nothing, no godfather in film industry, but I keep moving. I keep looking for it. I had a hunger for, to know more and more, to work more and more. So I keep journeying. I've worked with many films, assisted many films, learned, door, many doors were, nobody welcomed me, but I still keep moving. So, it's, that's why what I'm saying is you have to keep moving, keep persistence.
Keep us in.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit more about your the best film that you have had so far experience that you had enjoyed a lot and that became more success?
Mm, it's difficult to say, but definitely in my career, I worked with many television and film content. I will say, I enjoy working with the. I think maybe I'll say the film I was doing. Mostly Indonesia. Indonesia, I'll tell you, Indonesia has a great journey for great experience for me when don't speak the language, especially with the Chinese when I was working with the Jackie Chan company also. That was another experience for me. Um, when you don't know the language and you have to interact with the actors, you have to understand their emotions. And so we have a translator here, and we are, we understanding the emotion, but you can't be dependent on the translator all the time. So, and same thing happened. I work in the Spanish and work in the Korean language, so it's a great experience for me, interacting with the lot of language, lot of but it's called director eyes, or you can say the filmmaker eyes, where you understand the emotion. Emotions are same everywhere. You can hide those. So you catch those, your lip movement, your expressions, your emotions, all those comes on your face. So the the craft, the creative craft, what I learned, I think I learn more in those moments when I don't know their language, you know.
Wow.
So, and when I working with the Hollywood, and when I, still trying to, that's more like organized industry. When I came from that was not organized at the time, but now I think Bollywood is more organized, more planned industry. But when we started our career, it was somehow not that organized, but we learned from, and then you came all the way to that industry, that film where everything is organized, where everything is planned. So definitely that was a great experience for me. And I did many projects like in Indonesia. I think if I name there's a project called, it's a television project called Angin Tak Dapat Membaca, The Wind Cannot Read, and Chosen Wife, and Janji, with working with many actors. And when I move here, interacting with a lot of Hollywood, big personalities, plus Bollywood. Bollywood is the part of me where I never left the industry. I always be part of the Bollywood. Even I'm not, most of the time I'm not in Mumbai, then I'm doing the project here for Bollywood, for
Okay.
Indian film industry. And I think I cannot be specified which project is more of my like, but definitely film like King's Speech. I'm the part. I got a chance to part of that film. I feel that's a. I never thought that's going to be the such a Oscar winning film when we started the here. But I love the script. So those are my journey, which is you learn when I get involved with the distribution of Passion of Christ. We have
Okay.
Mel Gibson films. So I think from every films I learn. From every film is a challenge. Every film is a journey for me. So that's me. So I think Raju man has a question. That's not what your priority between the two Bollywood and Bollywood films. So about your priority between. I think because I grown up in the industry, in Bollywood. I came. My always we have a priority for Bollywood. कि दिल जुड़ा है हिंदी फिल्मों से, in the part of that. But uh, as a filmmaker, I feel there is the way we tell our story, the way we tell our with the music and songs, always fascinated by that. Always never be kept me away from that industry, from especially from Bollywood, and I'm keep doing in future also. We are producing a bunch of Bollywood films also. We are the part of that. We are doing a lot of co-production venture, but Hollywood is always fascinated to telling my emotion in my way, that in or maybe now major Hollywood film or studio film has more different terminology of they are more like a kind of packaging their films on commercial terms. But as an independent filmmaker, I always tell my story. And even when I did my film called Shut Up or many other films like that, I always tell the story in a human emotion point of view. So that's I think I love Bollywood. That's me, and keep doing Hollywood too, because that's my my journey. So, so if you, I don't know, I give you the right answer or not, but this is. So Meenakshi ji asking the earlier Hollywood was supposed to be more action oriented, and now Bollywood is more into action sequence. How you look into this? Uh, I think we start. It's a as a maker, as a filmmaker, we blame to the other that okay, the audience. We blame to the audience that the audience is liking more action films and all. But I think we start copycat. You know, and mindsets of the people also they say it's a change, but I feel today if you still play the romantic movie drama still work, family drama still work. It's not like going away. It's like uh, what you are serving to the audience, that is, star-studded films. You can be served to the audience and they want you to be come and watch. That's the pattern is happening now in commercial terminology. But I feel Nachi, I'm thinking, can you repeat the questions again if I'll be answering you right or not? But definitely uh, more action into now ball is more into it. Yeah, I think what I feel in with the Hollywood industry, they always have a when the studio take a decision on commercial films when they talk about more uh, packing, they see as a commercial viable film. They see as a okay, action is working. Let's make a package of that. When studio had whoever is deciding on that film, when he take decision on the certain subjects, they decide on that okay, this kind of subject is working, so we will focus on that. This is the star packaging happening for this film. That so same thing we try to copy on that. But I know it's it's not like a permanent genre that action is always there. Bollywood has a lot of drama, a lot of comedy sequence, or different genres working in the Bollywood. But I feel we are trying to be copy more Western world in that way. Right? So I hope I answered your question on that. But my experience with Bollywood, as there's a lot of films are um, working, which is human stories, which is experience your own. I think social issues, a lot of social issue subjects work in worldwide. Uh, rest is we call it we try to be something hit and we try to copy like how the South Indian films are working great. See the revenue, we talk in terminology of revenue we are getting uh, from those films. So uh, today film become like a product, you know so you whatever is selling, they're selling, okay, let's make a money on that. It's not like a, but there is an independent film market where we call it, that's still creating that kind of content. Yeah.
So, Raji, I think what you just explained is means that it's more like a super market approach.
Yeah.
Whichever is convenient, whichever you're liking and tasting, that you will do that. But I think somebody who had asked a question about Bollywood and Hollywood, difference in those, um, the act of the film or films are being produced based on some. So you just mentioned, is it based on the audience taste, or is it basically what we are introducing to the audience, or do we go through two-way street, or which one is the best one? People say today's time what kind of movies are being produced, or the producer says, well, this is the requirement of audience, so we are
Hmm.
producing these kind of movies. So can you share some light on that?
See, mostly we as a filmmaker, sometime as a commercial filmmaker, we leave it on the, or we say that it's the audience what they want to see. It's not. It's like what you're going to serve them. If you're serving, garbage, if they're not going to like it. If you're serving good stuff, they definitely going to appreciate. But definitely, as I said, genre keep changing in the market. Definitely, people are. It's not action is not. I'm not saying it's a bad, but people want to see action movie. There's an audience for the action movie. There's an audience for drama. There's an audience for the comedy. uh, uh, it's a, but we cannot be say that okay, audience want to see this, that's why we are serving. Their audiences, all kind of audience, but the most important is that the creating content, what we are doing, we are totally, the language of the cinema is changed now. The way we want to define, we cannot be we treating film as a product. We are not treating as a human emotion. If you see, there is a films made on biography, on film made on human emotions. They work very well, and I was a part of many films like those. Definitely, uh, it's we call it, okay, this kind of, like, they start selling, okay, horror is working. I was involved with the Hollywood content for some time, selling those content. So every buyer was selling me, okay, bring the horror content. We are looking for the horror content. But that's a, we call it specific target market. But there is a, I sold lot of stories, very independent films from India, to those unknown market where nobody knows the language, nobody's know about those films. And even a lot of films, they nobody knows about their actors even, but they have a good storytelling, good emotions values in those films. So I feel what you are serving to the audience, sometime audience take it, theek hai, let me watch, but they are not, they may not be like it. That's why a lot of action film also with the known stars flop, because you think that is going to work. That's not, you know.
So, to the same context, and I think I'm going to just describe about Yashpal Sharma ji, and I'm sure majority of people have seen Yashpal Sharma ji in many of the movies, and he's been working for many years. And I remember his one of the best role in a movie called Lagan, and also in the movie called Gangajal. So I remember those remarkable acting that Mr. Yashpal Sharma ji did in those two movies, and I'm sure there are a lot many other movies that he has acted in that as well. But looking at his personality, I think the way he represent that negative role in these movies were very well received, right? Even though it was a negative role, but he has been received very well. And the other side also, because I know him personally, I've seen him talking, what a polite gentleman he is. So that is a art of a character of a actor, to how to implement that into that, right.
Yeah,
So the same context, I have one more question for you, is that there was a movie called as Roadway to Sangam. I believe that was, I think, your involvement in that movie. And I think I was very kind of emotional, as you mentioned about emotional movies, the human connections movies. I think that was one of those connections of the movie. So can you share some light on that movie as well?
yeah, great. Uh, that I was a part of the producing and distribution team in Road to Sangam. But more than that, I worked with the Yashpal ji in one of the film which I close to my heart. I produced that film called Os, Dewdrop. Os is a dewdrop. It's an interesting film about, and yes, she plays one of the lead character in that. That film is a journey of this 12-year-old girl who got saved from the brothel house. Um, so it's based on true stories, and that film got like appreciated worldwide, got more than 40 to 50 awards worldwide as a best film, as a best screenplay, and best producing production. Uh, and I think as I film with the Yashji, that is my, you know, great experience to working with him and interacting with him, such a senior actor. And I always respect him as a great actor. So my experience was with more was on the set of Oz. That's why when we were shooting in Delhi and in Dehradun and different part of in India and part of the border in Nepal also, because the story that who got sold by her aunt. This is based on a true story. The girl is sold by her aunt to the brothel house, and then how she got saved by NGO in India, and then brought her
Very
back.
well, very well, very nice. So I'm very much passionate about these family. Pratibha Suman Sharma ji, and she also has introduced her a group called as a Pahal, where she's also implementing some of the same principles that you were just describing about, and connecting with these people who have created such a great platform, Bollywood International Film Festival, from through the Film Freeway, where they have options for people to send their entries if they are into the movie making. For so audience, if you are listening to me internationally, anywhere you are joining me for this particular show, Let's Talk show from Bollywood International Film Festival, you have great options to send your entries. I'm sure you probably have seen this on a screen. You will have a 35% discount for this particular film entries, and send it as soon as you can. And it always, as you said, as Mr. Raj said, passion is always there, but at the same time, we have to act on it as well. So, right time, right place. So we would love to have your entries coming to Film Freeway, Bollywood International Film Festival. And it could be in a different categories such as your movies, your musical videos, short movies, feature films, or web series, or if you have any documentary as well. So you can all connect with all of these categories. And we are very, very thankful to our sponsors, and who are Yash Vidya Films, Pehel Foundation, A3P Connections, Fine Grain Films, and Anhad Studio. So without their support, it can be possible to be here. And I'm so delighted. And of course, I know we would love to talk to you, Raji. I think you have so much of content to share with the audience, but because the time constraints, we will not be able to do continue that. But thank you so much. But before you leave, can you send some message to Bollywood International Film Festival, and have your greetings to them?
Great. Thank you, Pratvaji. Thank you for having me on your this platform. I really appreciate and the way Bollywood International Film Festival is organizing this uh, platform, and my best wishes to them. And I always want them to be create a platform, not showing, but giving that platform to the filmmaker to to sell their content or to. So as a part of industry, if I can help in somewhere to these filmmakers in selling the content or getting involved with them, I would love to be. My best wishes to everyone who's watching or who's part of the Bollywood festival. And I always say one thing, don't leave. Just keep your journey on even after you get any rejection. Just keep moving. You may not be perfect, as I said, but you are your unique piece. So keep your uniqueness in you, whoever you are. You're a filmmaker, you're an actor, or you're a crew, or whatever you're doing in your field. Just keep moving, keep doing things with honest opinion, with honest answers. That's what I can say.
Thank you, Mr. Raj. Thank you, Raj, for connecting here for Bollywood International Film Festival's Let's Talk show. And thank you, audience, listening to us. And next time, you will again have another story about another film industry person in Let's Talk show. So continue watching Continue being attached to Bollywood International Film Festival. Keep sending your entries. And if you have any questions, you can always contact the number on the screen. So until then, have a great time. Have a great, wonderful. मैं आपके host and your show conductor this time, Pratibha Farke Gupta from Dayton, Ohio, USA. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all.